All righty, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and it's your boy Day coming back at you live, and it is a happy Monday. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend, and here we are for another brand new trading day. Looking forward to the awesome week ahead with you guys. So let's get started here with our market news. We got all the major indexes surge on Friday, closing out what was a volatile week for stocks. The Dow Jones Industrial Average moved 1.64% higher, closing out Friday's trading session at 40,589.34. The S&P 500, Nasdaq Composite also finished higher, climbing 1.11% and 1.03% respectively to close at 5,459.10 and 17,357.88. The rotation into small cap stocks and cyclical areas of the market continued as well as the Russell 2000 index advanced 1.67%. These gains were supported by June's reading on the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge known as the Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index. This report shows a 0.1% increase on the month and a 2.5% increase from the same period a year ago, as expected from economists polled by Dow Jones. Okay, so as you know, for my futures traders, there's no economic or political news this morning, usually just how it goes on Mondays. So looks like, we're starting off as, you guys have to always remember Mondays are like, the day where you just get to the trading station and look for single base, base hits. And then, if you catch a really big one, say like LIPO, you got to do your best to at least hold some shares and ride it out and move your stops up. Obviously, in pre-market, you don't have stops, so you have to be there and make sure that you have your limit orders with your mouse set. But let's get into it real quick. LIPO, this is our number one play. Stocks coming up to that pre-market high of 150. What a great trade this morning from the 65-cent entry. And then if you missed it and you woke up a little late this morning, you got another shot here at $1.14. And here we are coming up to that 150 resistance. So big play of the morning. Pretty much just been the only one getting that volume this morning. USA Biotech Company, 4.8 million float. So it's a low float. It initiated a phase 2A trial for their LP310 and oral, what's it called? Oral lichen pianis. I don't know how to say that exactly, but enrolls first patients. Okay, so there's that press release, low float. And overall, I mean, we're well above $1. So I think everyone here needs to expect that this stock is going to be a halt fest stock. So expect a lot of halt today here on LIPO, okay? Because anytime you see a micro penny stock blowing up above $1 and it was already at this price, we got just 5 minutes before market opens, you know how that's going to go. So expect a lot of halts on this one. Let's move on to the next stock here. NLSP, this one also did a great job. I mean, these were the only two trades really that broke out here from our plays. 33-cent breakout entry and hit up to 40-cent mark there and back down to 33. So that 33 previous resistance is your support level. As you can see here, every time it comes down to 33, the body and the candle on the Heikin Ashi has been holding and bounced. So the latest bounce high was 38. It's got to break that 40-cent mark for us to see a bigger, obviously, high of the day breakout from previous pre-market, because market's going to open in 5 minutes, right? So daily resistance here on 200 is at 36. So we got to, like, preferably build support at 36 and then continue to build up to 40 and then 45, because 45 or 46 cents was a high back on June 18th. Okay. All right. So, you got the top two names, LIPO and NLSP. NLSP, more favorable for obviously the smaller accounts, or I guess people that it's not necessarily about, lower the price. It means, it's good for, smaller account size of people, but that's how people usually think. But, for my micro penny stock fans, this is probably number one. Switzerland biotech company, and the float is a 28 million flow. So it's not the lowest flow. It's about a mid-flow stock, we'll call it. And they did announce binding term sheet to merge with another company, Caddy Mastem. Caddy Mastem. I don't know. That's the name of it. But anyways, there's a merger agreement news. All right, we got Yibo next. Going down the further the list here. I mean, it's not the best looking stocks beyond this point here, but EBO, you can see we got this VWAP major rejection multiple times, you know, so what does it take for EBO to really break out? Well, we need to break the VWAP. So I would highly watch the EBO area at the VWAP, and we do have potential as this is a 1.7 million in flow, so very low flow Chinese tech company. So that's the only thing. It's a China name. Nothing against China or anything, but you know, when it comes to stocks, low small caps like this, a little bit known for being very pumpy dumpy. And so I just haven't really seen, we haven't seen a lot of Chinese pumps going on recently. So I don't really think EVO is really going to be the main play of the day, but obviously with LiPo being, you know, taking over the storm, but they did have a brand new press release, the Planet Image International Limited announcing closing of their $5 million initial public offering. So they close their, you know, their offering. So we'll see if we can get their attention. And then you got the LPTV. This is a 13-cent stock, and well, looks like right now we don't have a whole lot of volume. So this is just another stock that we're looking to see if nothing else runs, volume comes in, watch for the VWAP break. USA Broadcasting Company, and a 38 million float is a little bit more on the higher flow side, so it's going to be a little bit slower mover. It did announce new partnership and nationwide launch of the Red Bull channel. So there's a PR headline there on this mid-flow stock. So if you like this cheap price stocks, well, you just need to look for that VWAP break and the VWAP roll. LGVN, last but not least. LGVN currently trading at $4.10. This is also below VWAP, so you know what I'm going to be looking for, just to see if it's going to be able to break above the VWAP here on LGVN. LGVN VWAP right now is sitting at $4.30. It's a USA biotech company at a 4.4 million flow, so low flow stock, and they do not have any brand new press release. They did have a press release yesterday, you know, that was Sunday. They presented study results from ClearMind phase 2A clinical trial of Lomecel-B in mild Alzheimer's disease at the Alzheimer's Association, etc. So that's that. Market is now going to be opening up here in 5 seconds. Let's have a great day. So I'm going to pull up LIPO, NQ, major rejection of the deviation 1 line, and back down to VWAP. So we're probably going to see a little bit of surge here at the reversal if this VWAP gets that support. If not, it's going to crack, and watch for that death cross here at the 14 EMA going below 50 EMA. Here we go. Okay. Market is now open. Looks like right now we got an opening candle coming down to the 200 at the moment. So what you need to do is wait for that reversal out of the downtrend line here on NQ. Just been making what? Continued lower highs and lower lows. And the thing is, it's the first 5-minute candle here. So we still got some time for that potential bounce off the 200 and then maybe reverse out downtrend line. 150 still big resistance here on LIPO. And LSP still holding 33. I didn't put TIVC on the watch list, but I would still watch TIVC here on the side, on back pocket actually, because there was a play earlier for 68-cent break, and it's right now trying to break the VWAP at the 60 area. Now it's just popped up 64. So there is a play of 68 on TIVC just in case. Looks like there is no reversal at the market opening. It is just getting a big plunge down on this one today. So NASDAQ's up now, or NQ's up 60 points still for the day. Back down straight to the pink dev line. Nothing crazy at the market opening right now, just NLSP and TIVC surging up. LIPO, this is going to be that short window, right? It's been running up. So we do need to keep that in mind. Let me pull up NLSP here. OIS. LADIA. Okay, come on. I think I just need to fix the scanner shot out here. So a little bit lagged here. Okay, NLSP coming on up to the pre-market high at that 39.40 mark. So if you're still wanting to get back in at the 33, that was a great balance point area. TIBC back below VWAP. So yeah, it's just really LiPo and NLSP on Money Monday. I would say you're not going to see a whole lot of multiple stocks running left and right. Just try to focus on narrowing it down to 1 to 2 names. Huge reversal pop here, still within that 5 minutes. So it was initial dump and then now just straight back on up. That is incredible pop. That's a big reversal pop. That's what I'm talking about. Just gotta, that first 5 to 10 minutes, you gotta watch out here in the market opening here in the futures market. Same thing with the small caps, but you know, small caps, what was I gonna say? Small caps. I think small caps is just a little bit more, you know, kind of more frequent patterns that we see it more on the daily. With the futures market, you know, it's hit or miss because like today there's no political news, like no economy news. Tomorrow it's gonna be different, right? Tomorrow we're gonna have 10 o'clock at consumer confidence, I believe, and then you got the job openings, and so it's gonna be more bumpy, jumpy. This is just the first 5 minute bump back up here. Okay, so it looks like it's just couldn't break that pre-market high at that 40 cent mark. So it made a lower high back down here at the moment. A lot of stocks right now are looking pretty similar. NLSP down, LiPo down, but they're still holding above some key levels of support. Like I said, LiPo is going to be a hold fest, so it's halted, right? It's halted. So 9:31:24. So countdown 5 minutes. It's going to be 9:36 and 24 seconds. That's going to be on halt. And you can see here that we have about 2 more minutes left before this unhalts. So once again, it's right back down to 33, means that it's another potential opportunity for NLSP fans. The only thing is you got the 14 EMA that curled down and it's super close to that 50 EMA. So do watch out for a potential death cross there on NLSP. Right now, my hands are off. I have no position on anything, just waiting for some better setups. Okay, so 33 cracked. That's goodbye birdie, bye-bye birdie, whatever you want to call it. Goodbye birdie, bye-bye birdie. All right, so let's just watch here the unhalt happening. Should be happening here at 9:36:24. So you got about 30 seconds now on LiPo for the unhalt. Here we go, LiPo unhalted, but it is obviously at 89 EMA now. Looking lower highs and lower lows are happening, so it's going to get downhalted at 107 next. Or you have this previous 114 breakout that was a second play, as you can use that a potential next support level. We're still not being able to break out of this downtrend line. Remember, this 14 EMA right now is kissing the 50 EMA here on NQ. We need to reverse here before that death cross happens. So this candle, I say, is very crucial here. Did not get halted yet on LiPo. We're holding that 114 line, looks like. So buyers kind of came back in, making sure this 114 holds. Let's see if it starts reversing or if it's going to crack. Right now, it's the same thing here at NQ. Literally, for this 10 EMA is touching the 50 EMA here on LIPO. So, you know, with it being 15 seconds, let's see if it's gonna, the next candle is gonna be another lower high. Because if it's gonna be another lower high, then most likely it's gonna be a lower low and it's gonna get halted down. So 5 seconds to go. Let's see the next candle here. Okay, so yeah, it's not looking too good, guys. Right now, this candle, I mean, we just got a death cross, so it's gonna make a lower low. So looks like that 114 was initial, kind of held up like a small bounce, and then it's gonna be typical what? Well, it's been the stock that's just been running up, and you know, pre-market, market opening short window for another quick pop, high of day rejection here, 150, and then just start fading down. Right now, like I said, 114 is your support, so 114 still holding. But 114 cracks, you know, do expect this to be a complete, you know, bye Felicia moment. All right, I think everything else right now, like we talked about, the top two is not looking too good. They're both at the moment initiate a death cross, so I kind of want to move forward to TIBC. So TIBC is the next best candidate. It's doing a U shape. So 64 was a market opening high, came back down, U-shaped breakout to a new high of day here now on TIBC to the 65, and we need to see TIBC break what? I think there was a play for 68. Now, obviously, better entry was, you know, at the VWAP roll. Okay, here's that. Like I said, that's the reversal candle right there. You see that how they dodged that death cross right there? Every time, whenever you see that 14 EMA kissing the 50 EMA, don't assume a thing. Don't assume that it's gonna be a death cross or anything. With NQ, every time it touches it, it tends to reverse right before that happens. So some sort of reversal always happens whenever this vice versa. When the golden cross also happens, that 14 EMA comes up towards that 50, looks like it's gonna be bearish, and then it just dumps, right? Or, you know, here in this case, it looks like it's going to be a death cross and dump, but it reversed on up. And also, not only that, if you look at the RSI, it came down to a very low oversold territory, right? So anytime you see the RSI coming down to the overbought, this green line here as close as possible or in that area, that's going to be what? Well, it means it's oversold and buyers are going to try to come back in and try to grab those dips. Same thing here. This is overbought territory, right? Anything above 70 on the RSI is going to be bound to be what? Overbought. So people are going to what? Not likely to be buying up towards that level. And so you want to get out, especially when that red line crosses below that white line here. That's a bearish indication. And ever since then, it just sold straight down, up, down. All right. So right now, 14A bouncing off the 50. So now it looks like they're trying to figure out a new support level here. I'd say they're trying to build support here at 19,294, or they have to. They have to build right here at the 19,290 like 3 line here. So it's trying to wiggle back and forth here, see if it's going to close above here in the next 3 minutes and 50 seconds. All right, TIBC. This is our, like I said, the best candidate. The only thing is, it is running straight up from the VWAP. So I would wait for that solid confirmation and not get faked out. So, because right now the good news is there's no other candidate. So TIBC just definitely could be that next herd moving in. 79-cent up pull, guys. So it's got plenty of room. Okay, so two of you guys said Yibo's running nicely. Okay, yeah, let me pull up Yibo real quick. Dang it, it broke my 520 line, and it got halted up. Oh well. All right, so right now TIBC needs a 68-cent candle break. So I want to say TIBC 0.68 candle break line. Wait for confirmation because we want, okay, we want to see this now closing above. We got 45 seconds, looking good. You see how it opened above the 68 here. 75, 80-cent up pulp now, 80-cent up pulp. They're moving it up, 80 cent up pulp now. It's pretty much everything that got signaled out is that the breakthrough successfully is working out. I'm gonna have to retract CGTX, never broke that line, 345. So we're gonna have to retract that one since that's down 28% for the day. So there's nothing new going on there or anything interesting there. Looks like NLSP and LiPo, our top two names, just ran up too much in pre-market, and so they are being that fade. That death cross happens, we don't need to look back. Again, just a reminder, right? Look for that death cross. Death cross is what? The 10 EMA crossing below the 50 EMA. When that happens, we call it a death cross for a reason. It's just price is gonna keep tanking down all the way down to what? Probably expect at 200 or as low as 500 EMA. So you don't need to be guessing, oh, maybe let me buy the dip at 50 EMA. Let me buy the dip at the 89 EMA. No, best thing to do is just let it just run all the way down and just, kiss it goodbye. So right now, TIBC, I mean, we got a very nice pop up to 76 so far. So we'll see if it's going to be able to, I mean, it's going to need to re-break the same line here at 70 cents. So re-break that line here, excuse me, at the 68 cents. Okay, so very nice reversal. Like I said, watch at the reversal, and we're getting that peak deviation line resistance now testing, and then that area breaks. We should be able to see that deviation 2 line next. All right. Looks like it's a 10-minute haul on Yibo. I'm a little bit. I was looking for that breakout, and it's just one of those names that I missed. So I knew this was going to be a runner, and I completely forgot to put it for my play. But anyways, what's done is done. So 582 right now is halted up. Is a 10-minute halt. So, if Evo got halted up at 9:38, just put 10 minutes there. That's 9:48, 46 seconds. So you got another like what, three minutes left or so. 640 was the high of the day. Let me pull up Evo here on the charts. 640 high of the day. Really, I think the next big breakout level at this point would be, 607. I have a line at 607 there. If we can get a nice closing above 607, we should be able to get this one's gonna be kind of tough though now. It's already kind of wicked into the 607 to 613 and then halted at 582, right? So, or where's it 613? Actually, no, it did get halted at 613. Not sure why that candle is showing at 582. So 582, 613. 613, 10 million volume traded, stocks up 110%. It's just it's extended off the 10 EMA. I don't think this is going to be a smart move to just go straight into it. This is great for people that is already in. Okay. My ideal play was going to be 520, so we could use that line here later if it does come back down magically to 520, because that is where the 10 EMA is actually at. So it is 10 EMA extension here. I'm not going to be too interested in just jumping in. So this is a Planet Image, right? That was the merger news, I think, this morning. TIVC is back down to VWAP. So right now, my top two on the watch now is Yibo and TIVC, which is on our watch list.
CGC, ACNR, ACT, Gamma, UTNY, BHEN, T-double-O, and GCT. Well,
Okay, guys, we're just sitting on our hands. With NQ right now, you want to wait for that full body to close above the pink deviation line and become support, because right now this is a big wick into the pink dev line. YBL and halted. So it is getting that big spike on up, 818 is the up ball at the moment. Now I'm starting to get a little annoyed that I missed this. 818 up halt showing. I just think it needs to kind of pull back a little, but it's at 86 RSI. So I mean, hey, I don't think it's a good idea to just chase in, but it is the momentum FOMO is going to kick in for traders out there. $7. Let's see here if it's going to become support. If it's not, then let it come all the way down to 10 EMA. $7 current resistance. I think TIVC is probably your best bet at the moment from the place right now. EBO's already gone, unfortunately. So same line again on TIVC. If you missed this initial pop, like I said, to watch for that 70-cent pop or 68-cent pop.
house.
It's got to hold at 68 here if it wants to continue. It's making lower highs, so we're probably going to be making lower lows. Let's turn back attention on EBO here. Okay, we're getting a doji right now on EBO, so watch closely here. We're getting a doji right now. So this 675 area here is a key on EBO. 675 is key for candle breakout. Otherwise, or yes, if it's below. So watch the EBO around the 675 line. This is the critical area that needs to close above that line here in about 10 seconds. So let me actually adjust, forget about the $7 resistance line right now. I'm gonna put 675 right here. So it's okay, so it's looking like it's holding above 675 at the moment. So that looks like it's ready for another pop here. It's actually 670 area, I would say. Yeah, 670. It needs to hold 670. This 670 starts cracking. Well, you got this back down 10 EMA again. So 670 support, $7 resistance right now. 835 I'll pull.
House.
Okay, looks like it's trying to go. The only thing is the spread is just so, I don't like the spread right now on this. It's wiki. So I'm just watching. I'm a spectator. I have no position on EBO, guys. I mean, it seems like some of you guys already have gotten in. The $5 was nice there. I mean, that $5 breakout always leads to nice dollar runs, right? It's clear as day. 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to almost 8. And being a fade right now back to 10 EMA. So you can still look for a 10 EMA flag here. The only thing is, it gets a little scary when you see all these huge wicks now. So got a big wick on the way up and on the way down too. TIBC back at 68 again. That's also potentially forming that nice flag there. TIBC worth watching for 10 EMA. Just go with that. Flag VWAP area there, balance both VWAP and 10 EMA are close together on TIBC. EBO, yeah, I'll have to revisit that here in a little bit again. TIBC looking better again, 68 to now 70 again. 71, 72, 84 up Paul now.
FL.
So what's your support? Well, let's make sure we this time definitely hold above 68 support here and then continue to make a new high of day. If you look at the hourly chart on TIBC, we hit a high up to 85-cent high back on the 26th. So just a few days ago, we had hit TIBC on Friday, right? We had 85-cent high of the day. So that should be the next target level. Right now, that's also where the uphold showing at 85. And there's a new high of the day. This is why we want to pay attention to stocks that are still near holding above the VWAP and use the same line at the 68. If you missed it, you can reuse that line again. Right now, they did move it up just by a penny, 86-cent up pulp now. Well, it was 84 and 85, not 86. So they're moving it up. Stock's up about 70%. So this could be that 100% runner here next on TIBC, as long as we're just riding the 10 EMA, which we are.
KCIA. Wait. BC. Forward. FXL.
We got a double top at the moment, guys. So be aware of this area here. Right now, we got a little bit of the 77 double top resistance. Doesn't mean it's going to be the top here, but we need to make sure we're now seeing 10 EMA support and 77 resistance. So right now, also watch the up pole. They did move that up to 87. So it's still good. Just giving you guys a little bit of that first little heads up. We got a break, meaning we need this candles to start really breaking that at 74 here, or whatever the high day here so far has been, which is, like I said, 77. So 77 needs a break here in a few we still got 50 seconds or 40 seconds. Okay, 88 up halt. So they moved it up from 84, 85, 86, 87, 88 now. I mean, like to see that Friday high breakout above the 85, right? Okay, we're getting a little bit of pullback back down to 10 EMA, which is fine because it showed a double top resistance as a little bearish indication. Back down to 10 EMA, we got a doji and a flat top red, so we don't want to see 10 EMA crack. Otherwise, we're going to go revisit back straight down to 68 VWAP level there. Okay, so it's becoming a doji and flat top red, and it is pulling back down to support level back at 68. So double top, that was your first signal there of bearishness, right? Anytime you see a double top or double top or triple top, that is bearish. So as soon as you see that, best thing to do is lock in as much as you can and then set yourself up whatever small amount that you're okay and have a stop below that support level. Right now it came down towards the support level. So we want to see buyers coming back in here and then continuing the higher low and then a higher high, breaking back above 75 cents here in the next few minutes. If not, 68-cent cracks, and this is gonna go all the way down, make a probably a new low of the day on TIBC. Well, technically, new low of the day actually already happened all the way down to market opening, dipped down 200 EMA. So with this particular stock, I wouldn't even really care for the 50 or 89 EMA. I would just, if the 68-cent cracks, forget about all these other support levels, let it come all the way down to the 200 EMA. I have a line of 58, so you could fit 200 the five. By that time, it's gonna be 500 EMA, I would think. So let's just wait to see 68-cent here, still holding. Right now, it's a bubble indicator still. Body is testing the 10 EMA here on TIBC. NQ still looking good here. It's making higher lows and higher highs is probably going to happen here next, because we are still seeing that 14 EMA holding above that 50 EMA, which is a sign of what? Bullishness. And stock or futures NQ is up 178 points right now. So still within this nice uptrend now. Just a friendly reminder, as always, first thing to do if you're a little confused and don't know which direction, first very basic thing to do is first figure out what side the stock is going, right? Is it uptrending or downtrending? Is it bullish or bearish based on just the major trend, right? Right now, say for example, NQ, this is what? Making higher lows and higher high. So most likely this candle, because it made a higher low, is going to make a higher high. And we have obviously the deviation 2 line as our max resistance line. Now, what happens if it doesn't make a higher high? Well, you got your support level here right at that 19,325 line. Looks like that's where it formed established support, because you can see here that was a doji right, that not the best doji, but marked right there in the middle, and then formed a support right here in the next candle at 10 o'clock. So it is most likely going to be making a new high of the day, higher high, based on the pattern. But the only concern here is you never had a single full body really closing above the pink deviation line. So with that being said, I would just try to, if it does make one more high, I would bail out before that first 5 minute is closing. There's not a single 5 minute candle that closes above the pink deviation line. So just a little heads up. Too much resistance on TIBC at the 77 double top, and then when I said that doji and a flat top red, it's just not, that there was a big moment there for that one as well. But it's back down to the VWAP now. EBO's dead. There's just no way I was going to chase EBO by that time. It's going to come all the way down, back down, probably 520. That would be a better entry area, right? So instead of just chasing the moment you feel like you missed it, it's okay. There's no missing out. All you got to do is figure out the area that you missed previously and then use that as your re-entry level. So that 520 line that I was going to go for, remember I said I was like, man, I'm mad. I was looking for a 520 break. Otherwise, would have gotten a big major win here as well. But you can use that 520 here as your current support line. And then the good thing about it is, you got that big $5 previous resistance, now your support. So you don't want to risk, you want to, with this one, you want to aim say I don't know, 60 to $1 plus, gain for 25-cent stop, you should risk 25 cents or something like that for a 60-cent, $1 plus move. Because now this is getting towards an oversold territory on EBO. And not only is 520 our previous nice line here, EBO, my previous 520 line now support, worth watching. It literally tested that 520 just now. Bummer. That would have been like I said, this would have been that breakout level here, broke out all the way up to 783. Okay. By the way, NQ just made a higher high, right? It's all about probabilities. Most likely it's going to. Now, the only thing is, like I said, it only got 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so it can swipe straight back down again. So locking in gains is so important. Now, EBO, what happens if 520 cracks? Well, 520 cracks, it's gonna go down to the 500 EMA. Okay. So EBO 5.20 support cracks, then most likely 500 EMA on the 1 minute chart. Because why? If you look back, simply going back to the pre-market, the lowest point it bounced from was the 500 EMA. And that was right at 411 at 9:10 a.m. Eastern time. Go back and look at that. It's clear as day. That's the area that's going to go straight down to. Now, obviously, this is going to be the initial bounce level, 520. Obviously, that 520 never happened, but that would have been the case. So 520 now support bounce, and then you want to see generally a move back up towards like the VWAP level, or at least down up to the trend line level. So we'll see. The buyers can really show up here. The good thing about EBO now is the 10 EMA has been so extended, it's still above the 50 EMA. So it's going to take some time, I'd say, kind of wiggling back and forth here at around the 520 level. See how it just swooped all the way down below here? You only got 1 minute left on this 5-minute candle. This is also why it's so important to not fall for that trap. There has not been a single 5-minute candle that closed above the pink deviation line. It has been the resistance for the whole time. So go for the high, lock in, and then within that 5 minutes, get the heck out, wait for the next confirmation, or get back in at this trend line. Way better to like lock in and wait for the dump all the way back down, and then you can look for a safe re-entry. That's just the best way. Instead of getting that FOMO and being like, well, if it's gonna go up anyways, might as well just buy now. That's not how it works. In the meantime, at that time, you gotta think it's okay. But then when you see the P&L going up, you're seeing the P&L going down, you're losing money, right? You're gonna start getting the emotions kicking in. You're like, gosh, dang it. And then you're gonna start selling right at the support line again. And then it's gonna bounce again. And that's why a lot of traders do. That's why they say that, patience is one of the biggest keys in trading. Is you just got to be patient during those times, but then your emotions kick in and you're like, you start feeling like you're rushed. Like, let me just get in now. And next thing you know, you should have just been a little bit, like literally 2 minutes later, you could have gotten a great entry, better entry, but you bought at the top. Now you got to wait another 30 minutes till it comes back up, or worse, it could take hours. And the worst case scenario is it never comes back up. Now, luckily for the futures market, it will come back up because the markets generally tend to go up. But, with the small caps, these are trash companies. So you have to treat them differently. Once it already has a major pump for that day and the dumps, the momentum's, there's no more traders, so it's dead. You're going to have to wait months until God knows when the company's going to release another hot press release. And by that time, probably this thing's going to go all the way back down to like $2 or back to micro penny stock status. And then, you're holding a major bag, and that's not worth it. So anyways, we're just kind of watching EBO right now at 520. There's no other candidates except for LiPo that is bouncing off the 200. So I do want to mention now LiPo, worth watching for the what? Golden cross.
Oh,
So again, I have 4 charts up right now: NLSP, LiPo, TIVC, YIBO. And all I got to do is maintain watch on 4. If you can't maintain watching on 4, it's too much for you, set up an alarm. LiPo's been definitely the #1 gainer, still is by far. So something like this, you don't want to just like forget about it the whole entire day. It's still fresh morning. It's only been 36 minutes into market opening. Now we're coming back up to 130 line on LiPo. Let me revisit LiPo while EBO's still holding 520. So it's got a little bit of VWAP roll. That's fine. That's great. Higher lows, higher highs. 130 is going to be obviously the next resistance line. So I'm going to put a line here. Look at that new candle. New candle. is cracking this trend line and made a lower high, so you need to watch out there. Any questions so far? Let me know if you guys have any questions right now. We're seeing some stocks just kind of pulling back, most of them, like all the 4 names I just mentioned right now. Weibo's at a danger level. It's like I said, it's gonna take some time to kind of, you know, be around this 520 level. Right now it's cracking below 520. 10 EMA is getting very close to 50 EMA. That death cross happens, like I said, let the shorts, you know, you're gonna see this thing going all the way down to low 4s, maybe mid 4s, but like, you know, for right now, 430 is where the 500 EMA is. But this is what I'm talking about. You don't have to guess buying at the 200 EMA or anything like that. Hero EMA on Weibo is clearly 500 EMA. So that, just by eliminating, just by looking at pre-market, it will give you a much greater chance, greater percentage for you to know this is a solid support level to get back in on, instead of guessing and averaging down every EMA levels like I used to do when I was a little, you know, back in the days, just, you know, testing my luck and saying, okay, let me just buy. And I thought back in the days, average down was the game-changing thing. Like, oh, like as long as you have money, like all you got to do is just buy more. Just keep buying more, average down. And there are some times that have worked. Okay, that's why it gets to the point, it gets to your head where thinking you're gonna be unstoppable, you're never gonna lose. But you're playing with fire there, because there's gonna be that one stock one day that is just gonna be like a nightmare stock, and it's just not gonna bounce. And I've been in situations where I kept averaging down, and I mean, I had major losses, like big losses that was not even, you didn't even need that. But it's that ego kicks in, like, I can't lose, and you just keep buying because I have buying power. And then you start, you know, the terrible thing is when you start using leverage margin, like, you know, that's when, you know, now you're accelerating your bigger account blow up there. Anyways, obviously it was clear as day. This, now the trend line has cracked. So what's the major trend now? Well, look at the RSI as well. The RSI finally, you see that red line there? It finally crossed below the white line. This was a reversal point right there, right? And then the RSI bounced, and it bounced off the white line, still held. But what happened? Well, we finally cracked. The trend line cracked. Pink dev line never become support there, and we're just coming back down. We'll probably look where, okay, so now what you can do is what? Well, most likely shorts are going to want to get back down to the pink deviation line, probably around near this line, right? This is also, you also want to use this previous trend line too. This is also going to be a great support line. Whenever, anytime you see candles start coming down to the original, this downtrend line, you could use that as your support balance level too. So you're probably going to see this thing maybe between 200 and the pink deviation line would be ideal. The longer it takes, obviously pink deviation lines here is going to kind of bump up a little bit. So now another thing is, you know, the 14 MA, it did start making a little hill, okay, but we're still kind of a little bit yet to go here between the 14 and the 50 MA. So, and the NQ still up 125 points. Now we just need to let it do its thing now, doing its lower highs and lower lows. Now EBO, we're back above 520. Okay. The 10 EMA, look, TIBC and both EBO are very similar looking right now in terms of 10 EMA and the 50 EMA. So TIBC and EBO, both at critical levels. So what that means is 10 EMA and 50 EMA touching together. Worth watching right now, both of them. This is a moment where it can reverse, or it's going to make another new low. So NLSP tested 500 on the one and bouncing. So if you're looking at NLSP, Like I said, you don't need to guess. By the time death cross happens, it's gonna go all the way down. And look what happened on NLSP. Came all the way down to the 500 EMA. All right. And the reason why I repeat some of these names and tell you guys, look what happened is so that, remember I said last week, some people just need to see it to believe it, okay? The more you see it visually, the same patterns occur, you start believing in your head subconsciously, and you're gonna be like, wow, okay, this is what it is. Some people, when they don't see it, they don't have that faith. They just the what do you call it? They don't, it doesn't trigger them. So that's why practice and reviews are so important. You just got to keep on looking at it over and over again. And then you start, eventually one day it's going to click. Like, oh, wait a second. I've seen this before somewhere. Okay. Now it becomes like, okay, I know this. I know what's going on here. Right now, some of you guys that are still new, like you're still in that process. You got to give it time to let it click. All right, here we go on NQ. See how it's coming straight down here towards this trend line here? This is going to be a good area that you want to look for shorts to start covering. And when the shorts start covering, what's going to happen? Well, it also gives an opportunity for the buyers to sort of come back in. So let's see here. Top fan says he's learned to never average down for these penny stocks that are mostly PS. I'm assuming you meant piece of, right? It is just a matter of time they get delisted or to reverse split again to stay in the market. Never back all these stocks. Yep, 100%. All right, look at, okay, so we came down here, got a little bounce, still trying to figure out. It's gotta, start stabilizing the next candle. You only have 30 seconds left on this candle. Most likely what next candle opens is going to be much lower, right? It's going to be lower high, and then the candle's going to be what? Probably opening up, like at the top here, at the flat top red, and then make one more drop here. So, but it is getting down pretty close within the next 15 seconds. So the next candle could be a little reversal. Now we finally tested that trend line there, that line right there. That's also where the pink deviation line is. And if you look back here, that was also a great indication that was a bounce before the reversal happened. So now we got a new candle now. That was 15 seconds. Now you got a brand new 5-minute candle. This one, let's see what happens. I mean, it's still making lower highs. So it's gonna maybe make another lower low one more time. But it's getting to a pretty good oversold territory once again. So you need to look for that nice potential reversal soonish.
No. Advantage. BCS.
All right, let me see some of the other names that you guys kind of mentioned. SLRX says top fan breaking out. That was at 10:07. So a few minutes ago. Let's see here, just seeing the message. So another bounce right there, right? Made one more lower low because of the lower high opening. So it's a good area to scoop back in at these lines, right? This is a low entry level, right? And you want to have a tight stop below that. It's a good low risk entry level and high reward. These are the areas that you want to get back in, guys. So do the lines work? Yes, the lines do work. All right, let me pull up the SLRX. So it looks like it's a little bit below $4, $3.80, up like 20%. Bro, I said SLRX. Yeah. Pre-market pop. Or what is that? No, that was not pre-market. 33. What is this? Oh, interesting. I have this. Must be like a overbought and oversold territory shade. And I haven't really seen that on a lot of stocks on this trade ideas. Okay. Yeah, you got a 450, came down 364. I mean, we've seen SLRX kind of pop on up here and there, I think the past week. So
Yeah,
let me see here. SLRX.
BTLL.
Mhm.
BTFG.
Yeah, SLRX 450 and it comes straight down at 360. It's about to get a death cross. I think, if you want to if we want to play this, I would just wait till it comes all the way down to 500 EMA. So 329 would be your re-entry level. So stocks like this that wasn't on the watch list, guys. I mean, once you see the pump, it's just gonna go straight down. Like, there's no news on SLRX. It's never even been one of the top gainers today. So if you want to look for a re-entry, that's gonna be the re-entry level there. As low as a 500 EMA. I have a line at 330. So if you want to take a quick scalp, 330 to like maybe 350 or something like that, and then continue to go from there, you can. It's definitely going to be coming down to the oversold territory. So
LHRC.
yeah, and then or wait for the downtrend breakout there as well. But you want to generally get in as low as possible after the initial pump. So like same thing here on NQ. You got the initial pump, you got the nice uptrend, but the downtrend crack, the deviation line became resistance. It was resistance for the longest time. Never got the candle closing. And it came all the way down. Look at that huge bounce too, by the way. That trend line right there bounced. Earlier here too, got a small bounce, but you only had like 30 seconds. That's why you got to look at the time too. Because if you bought in at like within 5 minutes, you had still some time, but only had 10 seconds, 13, 15 seconds, right? So you close out, wait for the next candle, get another flat top red, and then go all the way down, and then wait for that that line support level area to get back in, and then sell towards the top of the new candle there, and then wait for the reversal back above the VWAP. Right now, what is going on? Well, it's below literally a lot of key indicators, 14 EMA, 25, 50, VWAP. So you're gonna just need to wait until at least it comes back above VWAP and then go from there. What's the other one? Anyone been trading Serve these last couple of days? Serve? Don't think so. I don't think so. But if we look at SCRV, yeah, it has been, I guess, if you have been swing trading, looks like it's been serving you well. But that's like what, the 25th, so like last week, was holding around this $8 range here, and got the $10 break and the 15, 16. I think the last time we played serve was, I think we did play it last week, didn't we? Did we not?
CRI.
I know I played serve recently though. I'm not sure if it was last week or the week before. Yeah, I don't remember.
RGLS.
But I know we played it sometime not too long ago. All right, so we got about 10 minutes left. I do want to kind of go over, there was a member that, just kind of rejoined after, a while back. I'm not going to obviously name any names, but, um, how it is, right? You do your trading and then it doesn't work out, and you see some next new shiny, trader talking about how they killed it in options, and you go into options, and then, hopefully, I know, obviously we hope that you do well in whatever you do, but it doesn't work out and lose a lot of money, and then come back in and then you try to recoup the losses. And there's gonna be those challenging times. You're gonna see in your trading career where you're gonna feel high and mighty at one point because you're doing so well consistently. But you have to understand that at the end of the day, don't beat yourself up too much. You are just a human being, right? And we all make mistakes. We're not perfect beings, right? So that's the beauty of it, is being able to get back up and learning from our past mistakes and just striving to be better, right? And so some of the important things is to just kind of acknowledge that, hey, even the fact that you have the courage to wanting to try again despite the setbacks. I think that's something that you really need to first acknowledge, right? Like, I have the courage that I'm going to get back in and try this again. And fear of losing is a big major obstacle for everybody. But, with the right mindset, which we always talk about, that 90% of trading is trading psychology. Obviously, you also need a good strategy. And so if you can do that, you can manage it and make informed decisions. So some suggestions that I've told a lot of traders when they go through this is to have, solid understanding of the strategies that you guys plan to use. So like, for example, like, you should really consider focusing on like risk management techniques to protect your capital if you have been in a major setback. Like, start small too, right? Give your current situation, like evaluate your situation, and then look to enter with some smaller positions first to build that confidence, and then back that up with that experience again without risking too much of your remaining capital, right? So a lot of people, they see how much they lost, and then they're like, well, this is nothing, and then they end up just blowing it up. That nothing, that in your mind at the time, is still something. It's not nothing, it's still something. So don't just like get on this F it all mode mindset. Build that confidence with smaller positions without risking too much of your remaining capital, and after consistency of the single base hits, you can start increasing your share size gradually over time after proving yourself. And then you got to make sure you set your clear goals and limits, right? So like, seems like a couple of you guys been asking recently, like, hey, Dave, like, what are some rules that I should set? At the end of the day, guys, like, you really need to come up with your own rules. My rules are going to be different than your rules. You know why? Because we all gonna all have our own problems. My problem is not your problem. Your problem is not going to be my problem. Everyone's just, their mindset is different. Their you know what I mean? Their strengths and weaknesses are going to be different. So if you find yourself, for example, over trading, which is a common thing, a lot of traders just keep trading too much, and by that time, it's like, well, with all the commissions and everything, Dave, like, I barely made much. Well, then, buddy, like, maybe it's time to set some hard rules. Maybe it's time to set 3-day trade rule, like where you just trade three trades and call it a day, or 3 stocks, 3 different tickers, and that's it for the day. Whatever it may be, set some hard rules for yourself and stick to it. We all need rules in our life, right? You can't just be like, well, I have all this freedom. That freedom can lead you to disaster, actually. So you need to have set boundaries and rules, and stick to them religiously as much as you can. Set some rules and boundaries, guys, okay? And follow that consistently. That's going to help you guys stay disciplined, and then you're going to avoid those emotional decisions, okay? And then have those stop loss orders. Stop risking more than you can afford to lose. Go in with a small percentage of your account on a single trade or something, and start from there. Make sure each morning you come here, you're mentally prepared, right? Come to the training station like you're heading to war. Show up sharp and be ready to dominate. That's the kind of mindset and attitude you need to have. Attitude is so important. Okay. Now, if you show up feeling down or low, that's okay. Not every day will us be feeling high and great, right? We're all human beings. You just got to be honest with yourself. And if you aren't feeling anywhere close to your A game, then you got to consider taking a smaller position or not trade at all for that day. It's okay if you're not going to see any P&L for the day. Sometimes the best trade is no trade. So you have to remember that 90% of trading, once again, trading psychology, 10% risk management, position management, it requires a strong mental game. Techniques like, mindfulness and keeping that trading journal is going to help you stay focused, and then you're going to be able to learn from each trade, whether it's going to be a win or loss, right? And so, I mean, the greatest lessons really do, though, come from your losses. So don't take that as a loss. It's a learning. It's a lesson. So you got to stay committed to the trading, community once you commit. And then you got to ask for feedback or support throughout the whole year. We're in July now. We got still, like, we're at, halfway through the year, but, don't get quiet or disappear when things aren't going your way, which is a lot of you guys do that. when things are going your way, you just start getting quiet and then you disappear. And like I do wonder like whatever happened to that person. It happens for everybody, but you got try to reach out to people here and learn from your mistake so you can do better and gradually improve. So it's also really essential to remember that the market can be unpredictable from time to time, and there are no guarantees. But with the right strategy, right mindsets, these keys like patience and discipline are such a big key, right? So, like I said, if you guys have any, of these issues or anything, reach out. I'm here too. Like I'm here for you guys. Don't get quiet. Don't disappear. Don't, reach out. I know some people need their time to disappear and be quiet, and that's fine. But don't be in the dark shadows for too long, because then it's going to get much, much harder to really kind of get back up. So anyways, just wanted to share that with you guys since things are kind of a little low at the moment. Like there's not much happening. I would look for at the moment TIBC coming back up to VWAP, and then after that, in 2 minutes, we're gonna go and take a quick, short 5-10 minute stretch break, and then see what we got for 11 a.m. Ripper dip time.
IMUX, 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 GRY.
I think I mentioned something for Golden Cross. Which one was it? LiPo, right? So LiPo never got the Golden Cross. In fact, it was coming up and then didn't even touch the 50 EMA. So like I said, LiPo is going to go straight down to the 500 EMA. It's just another typical example of what's going to happen. And most likely SLRX as well, which is not part of my watch list, but that already had happened to Death Cross. So interesting with that one is it is kind of right at the 10 EMA. The 10 EMA, 50 EMAs are kind of close. So it could potentially do a Golden Cross, but you can look at that if you want. So I'll put TIBC back up on the gainers list here. All right, guys, let's all take a quick 5 to 10 minute stretch break. If you need to take a quick review here, do so. We'll be back here before that 20-minute mark of that 11 a.m. Ripper dip time. All right, guys, so we got about 20 minutes here till 11 a.m. river dip time. So let's take a look at some setups potentially heading towards that 11 a.m. time. So 18 minutes till 11 a.m. river dip time. SLRX, we're still looking to see if it's going to do a potential VWAP roll. TIVC as well. SLRX just maybe might have a potential.
Tesla.
Let me see the volume one more time on SLRX. You know, this one's traded about 3.8 million in volume today, which if you look at the average volume on SLRX, it's about 2 million on average. So it's a little bit above the average volume. It's on SSR.
What?
You know, I think we got TWOU as number one gainer. What is this? Hmm. $3 natural resistance. USA Education Company. 3 million in float. No news that I see. I think like last week they plunged pretty hard on TWOU on Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing. So it must be like a cheap discount buy and moving back up a little bit. Nothing too special here. But yeah, it's gotten some nice recovery pop here from the market opening. It's just been running up higher lows and higher highs and still right in the 10 EMA. 329 high today. I think maybe it got room towards 370. I think 370s is a good area to look for. 370s to $4, I think is reasonable if this continues to hold $3. So I'll mention TWOU currently number one gainer, worth watching for $3 whole dollar shuffle, and then see if it head toward 370s to 4. If it's going to be able to do that, that is. You see how there's like a gap right here on the daily chart on TWOU. Right now around that 375. I would aim for that 370s there, 375. And then maybe it might wake up towards $4 or something, but it's just riding the 10 and 25 EMA on this one for now. So what we will do is go ahead and leave a trend line here. See if it's going to hold on up and do its job for a continuation or not. TIVC, worth watching again at the 0.68 previous breakout line, which currently the VWAP is sitting at as well. So some options for you guys to keep your eyes peeled for the 11 a.m. river dip time. And then I will leave one more time on SLRX. This is not really my particular stock that I would just needs volume. Volume is not there, but volume comes in. I can see this thing going for a potential VWAP roll there. Ideally, you want to see a 390 break, but I think $4 is probably safe. So X needs to get another $4 whole dollar shuffle. Dollar shuffle. run. Otherwise, it will. Otherwise, look for 500 on the one level there. LiPo came down to about 88 cents, but the 500 EMA is still at 83, so I don't think that's done plunging just quite yet. It is looking like it's trying to reverse back at 10 EMA though, but I think I would still wait till it comes down all the way down to the 500 EMA. NQ, beautiful entry here, right? If you took that nice trend line bounce, been making higher lows ever since, and right now, interestingly, here you got the 14 MA that did cross below the 50, but it is trying once again to try to reverse back up quickly here. I would also draw a trend line on the RSI here. You can see here it is overall still pretty bullish, trying to hold up. But once this RSI starts heading down here, we're probably gonna get towards into the oversold territory here, I would think. And so I would watch that. But you got also this resistance line at 19,320. If we round it up, 19,235 line. So if it's below that, I think you're gonna see some. I mean, it's just resistance line there. And I think right now TIVC is becoming a little bit better look as it's coming back up towards VWAP at the same 68 cent previous breakout line. The only stock that I will be retracting this morning is the CG, whatever it was, CGTX. That's just never happened and never will. So
LITM. AM. CALX.
okay, so with that being said, I would conclude here that the top three trades today were LiPo, NLSP, and TIBC. I I don't really you guys already know this. I don't really throw in too much big shares on these micro pennies. Because your broker just kind of usually charges you more commissions and you got to buy more shares because they're lower price stocks. Now, if you're on obviously like Robinhood or those free commission stock brokerages, you should be fine. But when you're on brokers like Guardian or Centerpoint, Cobra, etc., I think it's generally better to trade those stocks that are like above $3 range, um, or at least $1, that is. So I just find it a little bit more. It's just my head clicks better here. Lipo, yeah, Lipo looking a little bit better, but you're coming up towards that downtrend line there. So let me see if it actually broke above a downtrend line or something. If I just look at it, yeah, it's almost getting there, I think. Like I said, I just think it's still below $1. It's getting up to $1, but VWAP's at 111. Technically never really even touched the 500 EMA. It was close, but not really quite there. So I think there's probably going to be one more dip, in my opinion.
LITM. Yes. yes, yeah, no, Saba. TBTX, TCS, TCS, AHL, 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 AHL.
By the way, NQ got the death cross and actually, yeah, it's got a death cross here. So, I do expect this to probably head towards that deviation 2 line. The way this is going, right now, obviously today's day, it's a pretty chill day. Nothing crazy is going on. Like I said, there's no news today on the markets politically or economically. So you got the pink dev line today. So. If you're not really seeing much opportunities, it's okay to have a day of no trade on this one today. Tomorrow is going to be more activity. Like I said, 10 o'clock tomorrow, consumer confidence. So be prepared for that 10 o'clock mark. And the job openings as well. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's all packed. We got a lot of opportunities there. So, definitely if Monday just doesn't seem like a day for you, then save the better, more, if you're more into volatile days and you have those other days left. So, yeah, this should start going further. Although the pink deviation line currently is going to try to hold back and forth a little bit since that is current support.
LITF.
All right, guys. Well, we got 5 minutes here. I think we're gonna go ahead and pull the plug early here for now. I'm gonna get off the mic now since there's just nothing else left. I gave you guys, typed out all the things that I believe as the best candidates for now. If you're sticking around, but other than that, guys, overall pretty decent start to the week, and looking forward to serving you guys again tomorrow morning. So see you guys back here tomorrow morning, pre-market special. Let's see what we get tomorrow. Take care, everybody. God bless you all.